What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Brand to Table podcast. I'm your host, Henry Kaminski Jr., your go-to guy for restaurant branding and marketing. And today I want to talk about social media and how to use it properly for your restaurant. Because I do see some room for improvement for some restaurant accounts that I'm following very, very closely. And also, some new accounts that just came on. I also want to talk about some best practices that we're using. I don't know if you know this, but Brand to Table actually manages social media accounts for clients. And there was an experience this week that I want to share with you because it was a learning lesson that I think a lot of you guys could get some value out of. So I'm going to share with you that story, but I'm also going to share with you some other tactics that we're doing to generate more revenue for our clients, specifically through social media. Let's get into today's topic. So it's social media, guys, and I want to share with you something that I see commonly, and I want to just kind of address it and share with you guys why I think this is not the right approach for social media. So a lot of times I'll be working with a client and the client will be like, we got to get all this information out on social media. We got brunch, we got lunch, we got happy hour, we got all of these promos that have to get out on social media. Otherwise, nobody's going to know what we're doing. And without a doubt, social media is a phenomenal channel to promote different events and different initiatives that you have for your restaurant. A lot of times we overwhelm our viewers with promotional graphics and just constant promotions. And it's gonna wear out and fatigue your audience without a doubt. And so, yes, as a social media manager, we're responsible for taking that information and rolling it out in a way where your audience is going to want to digest it on the pace that they want to digest it. So that's on us to make sure that that happens. But I just want restaurant operators to understand that social media is a great platform to increase awareness and to get your messaging out, but we have to use it wisely. What do I mean by that? Well, social media is a great place for us to communicate and engage with our audience. And what I see a lot of times is just us, restaurant, just shouting at our audience. Come in for this, come in for that. We're doing this, we're doing that. Versus interacting and actually engaging and carrying a conversation. So I want to share with you a specific example of what we did with a client's Instagram account this week that really made a huge difference in how our guests are interacting with the restaurant, because it's all about experience. You know this, you hear me preaching it from the mountaintops. When you can get your guests to feel a certain way, that is like the ultimate reward, right? So we were in one of our clients' accounts this week, and one of the guests posted a picture of her drink at the bar for happy hour. So we reposted, obviously, the mention, and one of the team members responded and said, "How's the drink?" And that immediately created a conversation. So the guest actually responded and was like, "Are you here? Why don't you come and say hi?" Which is the exact response that I was trying to get out of the guest. And what happened there was magical, in my opinion. That guest felt like she was being spoken to, not shout at, but really engaged with. Not only did we share her mention and her shout out by taking a pic, she took the time to take that picture and to tag us, right? So mentioning that is one thing, but now following up and asking her, "Hey, how was the drink?" Or, "Can I recommend an appetizer for you while you're at the bar?" That is next level engagement on social media. But Henry, I don't have the time to do this. I don't have the manpower to do this. Well, that's where we come in. That's where we can actually take care of that for you. And it is the difference between a $40,000 week and a $70,000 week. Why? Because when we create those experiences on social media with our guests, they go home and they talk about it to not one, not two, but all of their friends. And that moment that we created with that guest this week made all the difference in her week. And so she felt like we were taking care of her, not only at the restaurant, but now through social media. And that is a major, major difference between how most restaurants are using social media and how we're using social media with our clients. So, listen, everybody's got a guy, everybody's got somebody around here to help them with certain things. But I can tell you this, brand to table is so far ahead of what the average marketers are doing on social media, on bounce back campaigns, on just the tactical stuff that is now possible with AI and with certain features now on social media that nobody even knows. But we are staying so far ahead of the trends. We're actually implementing this for clients and they're seeing major, major differences. Nobody's paying attention to all the things that we're paying attention to. It kind of reminds me of back in the day when Google first came out and you could literally throw out 4 keywords on your website and it was going to rank first page, second, third, fourth ranked. That's what we're talking about. And nowadays, guys, we are going through something very similar, but now very AI focused. And if you're not jumping on the trend now, you're missing the boat. And so we are doing things for our clients right now that other restaurants aren't even thinking about. And again, this is a perfect example of how we're leveraging social media in a way that most restaurants aren't doing. I see it because I follow a ton, hundreds of restaurants, and I engage with their social media. And I'm lucky if I get a little heart in return. Never mind somebody responding going, "How was your drink? Can I offer you an appetizer? Let me know if you need anything else. I could get a server over to you, no problem. Just give me a minute." Nobody's thinking this way. Nobody's leveraging social media this way. And it's a missed opportunity. So it's all about where you want to spend your attention, where do you want to spend your budget, and what do you really want to focus in on? Because yes, social media is a great tool to get your awareness out, and you need that, but it's also a great way to interact with your guests like this, as if we were sitting with them, enjoying their meal with them or their visit with them. And listen, there's a balance to this stuff, right? We're not trying to engage with the guest too much where we're actually interfering with the dining experience. Because I can hear people right now going, "Well, don't you feel that that's a little intrusive? And don't you feel like, you got to let the guests kind of enjoy themselves without getting too involved?" Yes, and there's a balance to this stuff, guys. I'm not saying jump on every single person's comments and things, and even though that's important, I'm saying do this in moderation and do this in subtle ways, and you will see a major difference in how your guests interact and engage with you. And again, it all goes back to the feeling that you want your guests to have when they're dining with you, because you get one shot at those impressions. You get one shot at those experiences. And when you can create one that's going to stand out and get people talking, sky's the limit. Bottom line, sky's the limit. So that's one thing. The other thing that I want to share with you that I know a lot of folks in the space they don't even know it exists is how to build your lists, your email lists, your SMS text lists. That is so crucial in communication with your guests. So we have a really cool setup that we implement for our clients where if any new guest follows us, we have a very cool, very personable automation that DMs that person and says, "Hey, thanks for following us. Appreciate you. How can we help you from here? Do you need a reservation? Click here. Is there something that we can help you with? Do you have any dietary restrictions? Is there something that we can help you with the menu? We have different ways we can communicate with our guests as soon as they start following us, which helps them guide the experience, which helps build the relationship right out of the gate. Because when a new follower follows you for the first time, that is the best time to start engaging and creating that relationship. So what happens after they follow you and get these automations? Well, we make sure that the automations are in the restaurant's tone of voice and in the personality. I had a client that was like, oh, this sounds great, but I don't want it to sound too robotic. And I get that. You don't want it to feel so stiff and so automated where you lose that personal touch. So we obviously know our clients' personalities before we even get into their social media accounts, because we do the homework that's needed before we actually start posting and engaging and all of that stuff. So we have that personality, we have that point of view down before we create these messages for them, right? So we create the personalized message and we either get them to a reservation, or we get them to the menu, or we get them to an AI feature that we created from scratch that helps them pair different drinks with different menu items. This is all the stuff that's possible now with AI that just restaurants have no clue how to use. They don't even know it exists. And this is the difference that we're making in our clients' lives and in their bottom line through social media. And it's just very, very important to understand that the technology's out there. You just may not know how to execute on it. And that's, again, where we come in to help you set all this stuff up and manage it for you. So you don't have to worry about, handling all this stuff or putting another task on your plate. Because let's face it, your hostess, your daughter, your current perhaps social media manager has no idea about this stuff. They're posting to post because it's a Friday, a Monday, or a Wednesday, and they have to get something out because it's been 3 days or 4 days since the last post. That's not how you operate your social media. You operate your social media with intention and with a strategy and a system that actually generates revenue for you and generates not only first-time guests, but repeat guests. So these are just some of the things that we do at Brand to Table on the social media side. Never mind email marketing, never mind inside of Toast, never mind inside of Open Table, that help generate more revenue for our clients. So there you have it, guys. Some real-time experience and stories on how we're leveraging social media with our clients and how we're generating those experiences and creating more buzz and connection and relationship between the restaurant and their audiences. So if you got some value out of this, guys, click like, click share, leave a review. I'm curious to see what you guys think. And if you have any questions, I'm always on Instagram. You can DM me. If you have topics you want me to feature on the next episode, please drop them. I would love to tackle those episodes for you and help you out any which way I can. So have an amazing day, guys, and I'll catch you on the next episode real soon.